You don't know, you damn well should know. My name is Ragreynolds and this is the Rag Review. So, Sherlock Season 4 just ended. 3 episodes. Were not bad, I'll tell you that. Before I talk about Season 4, since I haven't made any other Sherlock videos, I just quickly want to give my thoughts on the previous seasons. So, Seasons 1 to 3, they were excellent. Prior to watching Sherlock, I actually really didn't like Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know what it was about him, but it's just one of those things where, you get a feeling that I really hate that person. And I was like that until I watched it, and then I started to really appreciate his acting, while at the same time still hating him as a person. As time has gone on, I've actually come to quite like him, especially after seeing him in movies such as Doctor Strange. Anyway, first 3 seasons of Sherlock, fantastic seasons of television. I love the 90-minute format rather than just a standard 40 to 60-minute episode of television. It's almost like watching a mini movie each time. You get so much detail and it's very good. Anyway, Season 4. I thought it was disappointing. I'm going to go through each episode one by one. So, the first episode of Sherlock Season 4, basically the big point of the episode is that Mary Watson dies. Prior to her death, you have a whole backstory about her time as an agent and whatever else. But the problem I had with that was I felt like we already had enough of the whole Mary Watson surprise, oh she's an agent thing in Season 3. I didn't really need more of that. I had had enough of that before. I was never really into that part of the story. Mary Watson was probably my least favourite character in Sherlock. I always thought, oh, she's there. I like it just being Sherlock and Dr. Watson. I'm not a fan of anyone else really being part of that team. So I wasn't quite a fan of the first episode, and I thought, okay, well, they've killed off Mary now, so maybe after that it means, oh, maybe they're going to do something a bit better coming episodes. I also thought the first episode was all over the place. It just didn't seem to focus on any one thing. There was just too much going on. And it wasn't quite believable. Episode 2, one of my favourite things about it was actually Mary Watson, because you saw Mary Watson as almost, she was breaking down Dr. Watson's thoughts for you as it was going along. She was in his head, and I actually really liked the use of that. Other than that, the whole thing was Sherlock seemingly going crazy, thinking this guy was a serial killer, which it turned out was correct. Overall, I think that this episode was probably the best episode of the season, episode 2, but I still don't think it was as good as any of the episodes prior to Season 3. Season 4. I think Seasons 1 to 3 certainly have, all the episodes in there are better than any of the episodes in Season 4. So then finally we got to episode 3, which is easily the weakest episode of the season, I thought. And if this is the last episode of Sherlock ever, then it's certainly a disappointment. The whole thing, it turns out that Sherlock had a sister, and she puts him through these tests, but the whole thing was just so unbelievable. I mean, this woman was just to believe that she can manipulate everyone, and she is running a high security prison just because she says a few words to some people, and now she's dangling three people over water and gonna kill them if Sherlock doesn't do a task right, and then the whole thing was just very absurd, if you ask me. I wasn't a fan. I mean, I do not think these episodes were bad. Let me just make that perfectly clear. I do not think they were bad. They were very good episodes of television. I just don't think that they lived up to the standard of Sherlock that we've known from the first 3 seasons. I don't think they were good enough to be classed alongside the best episodes of Sherlock. And then the whole running theme through it all was, as we saw at the end of Season 3, it was this whole thing about Moriarty's back, oh my god. That turned out to be nothing. I mean, we got a short scene, maybe a couple of minutes long, of him in the 3rd episode, which was okay, I guess, but the whole thing turned out, oh, the whole Moriarty thing is because of Sherlock's sister had a 5-minute conversation with Moriarty and basically manipulated him into doing this, and whatever else. The whole thing, as I keep saying, it was quite unbelievable. If there is another season of Sherlock, I really do hope that they go back to the old ways and they make it better. If they're going to be just doing more of this, I'd rather they probably not do more seasons, because I don't want them to really ruin a good thing, although these episodes were still alright. So on this show, we rate TV shows based on whether or not you should watch them. And season 4 of Sherlock, I will say, yes, you should watch it. But you should watch seasons 1 to 3 before you watch season 4. Seasons 1 to 3 are just so much better than season 4, so I would strongly recommend watching those before you do watch season 4. But until next time, everybody, if you like this episode of the Rag Review, then please check out some of the other Rag Review episodes on the screen now. You're welcome, society.